Well, as Susanna told you before the break, 41-year-old Jules Fielder has never smoked, she's never vaped, but in November 2021, she was diagnosed with incurable stage 4 lung cancer after doctors repeatedly missed early symptoms. She's since been campaigning to fight this outdated perception that the disease only impacts older men who smoke.
And she's taken her campaign to the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting. Yesterday, they met and discussed better understanding of how this disease can affect younger women like Jules. And according to the Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation, lung cancer kills around 15,900 women every year. That is more than breast cancer and ovarian cancer combined.
Women aged 30 to 49 are at a higher risk, more than twice as likely to be diagnosed than their male counterparts. And despite the stigma, 30% of lung cancers are not, repeat, not caused by smoking. Well, we're joined by Jules now. Well, obviously, the first question is, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
You look it, I have to tell you.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. Yeah, it's been a really amazing 24 hours, and I can't believe I'm sitting here now, so...
Well, it's wonderful to have you here. What does it mean to have stage 4 incurable lung cancer?
It's hard, and it's a very challenging world to be in as a woman with lung cancer. Let's be honest, the perception of a woman in this day and age with cancer, you would automatically think of a more feminine, like breast or ovarian. So it's really unheard of, isn't it, when you present as a woman.
You're sitting here alongside Rachel Avery, who is from the Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation. Jules's campaign as a 41-year-old mum of a 16-year-old son is to say lung cancer is not the preserve of older men who have smoked all their lives. I mean, those statistics we just read out are pretty shocking. Do you think that people have a complete misunderstanding of what lung cancer is?
We really do. And I think the ultimate message we're trying to get out there is that lung cancer can and does affect anyone. It is still so intrinsically linked to smoking. And we can't shy away from the fact that smoking is still lung cancer's biggest risk factor, biggest cause. So 70% of cases are caused, but that leaves 30 that aren't. And it is a very important message to get out there. But what we're very, very keen to do is not separate the diseases, not segment them, is bring the lung cancer community together because we're stronger together.
Jules, reading the notes about your story, it seems to me that had you presented all those years ago now to your doctor with the symptoms you were beginning to develop, and you had been a smoker, they may well have said, well, we're going to investigate this because this might be lung cancer because you're a smoker. But you weren't a smoker, so the symptoms that you were going to your doctor with were dismissed.
Correct. I mean, sadly, I was diagnosed at the very end of the pandemic when it was really hard to see a doctor. Do you remember those times where we were ringing up and they were asking for photographs? And that's exactly what happened to me back in 2021. I wasn't aware, though, that arm ache, shoulder pain and backache and a crackly voice were signs of lung cancer. I was still of the understanding I should have been coughing up blood, had chest pains. Like we knew. So even I didn't know at that time. However, a medical professional, my body was sending a message. If they'd pieced the puzzle together of what my body was telling, yes, potentially I could have been
So what did they think was wrong with you at that moment?
So at that point, my backache was diagnosed as sciatica. My elbow and shoulder pain was tennis elbow, and I was just given a YouTube video to watch to do some exercises. My crackly voice was, we've all been wearing masks, so don't worry about it, it will go in time. And it was just dismissal. But that was all just over the phone. It was when I got a lump that came up at the base of my neck was the reason I got seen, just because I was bougie on the phone and just sort of said, I have to be seen.
Right.
Yeah, to advocate for yourself.
But think of all the people that aren't as strong and have a voice like me and the people that would accept and the amount of people still walking around like me. You'd never think, looking at me in a million years of my diagnosis, would you? I think I And that's the thing, there's lots of people like me, and that's why we've got to start breaking the silence and speaking about lung cancer in the same narrative that everything else is spoken about. Look at all the developments we've made on mental health because we started talking. The same with AIDS. As soon as we start talking about it, making it normalised in society, people are less scared and fearful.
And it takes away the blame aspect, doesn't it? Because there is that underlying psychological thing that if somebody develops lung cancer and they have been a heavy smoker, there is an element of, well, you know, you must have known you were taking a risk with your health and your life.
Yeah, it is.
Whereas there's no blame, if not that there should be, but there's no blame to be attached to.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we're really keen to get across, and why we don't want to create a group of people who haven't smoked who get lung cancer and a group of people who do, because it's an awful disease to be diagnosed with, and people should be met with support and sympathy. It's really dangerous to label people in that way, because if you're labelled a non-smoker, a never smoker like Jules, as we've been talking about, it can take longer for people to get diagnosed. And then those who have smoked can be really reluctant to go and seek help because they feel they've brought it on themselves and they don't deserve it. And no one should feel like that.
Jules, you have been receiving some excellent targeted therapy. How effective is that treatment?
Yeah, so it's been amazing. So I was diagnosed in 21 and then I went on to targeted therapy for 3.5 years and it served me well. I've travelled the world and I've gone around society fitting in. It's only this year that my story changed in January, and obviously throughout this year my health has declined. And on the 1st of August, I was given the prognosis of 6 months to live. And then it was a week ago yesterday that I was given weeks to live. And I sit here with you guys today.
You sit here with remarkable composure, having received that news.
Because I'm going to prove it wrong. And that's the thing, is I remain hopeful because I demonstrate now that what you read on Google and the stats are out there, it's dated information. And that's what I also want people to look at, is the fact that you've got to remember that as you, in a community, I become hope now for the newly diagnosed. People will find me because that's what you soul search for when you're diagnosed. You want to find people that are longevity down the line. And I have to remember that I symbolise to new people in our community not to lose hope, because there's been so many remarkable new treatment lines that are available. And when I leave here today, I'm straight into full brain radio.
So when you got this statement from your doctors a few weeks ago, you've got a few weeks, your reaction was, well, we'll just see about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will prove it all wrong. I'll come back on here in 3 weeks' time just to show you that.
You are hereby invited to.
That's it.
It's a date.
You.
Honestly,
okay?
absolutely right.
Yeah, that's it. And
we want to see you next year.
Yes, you will.
And we want to be doing this interview about your campaign and how it has changed people's perceptions of lung cancer. West Streeting yesterday, the Health Secretary gave you a solemn promise. What was it?
What did he promise me? I've been trying really hard to get a symptom awareness card in pharmaceutical stores in front of the cough mixture that perhaps has a QR code that would navigate them to...
What a great idea.
Thank you, because I feel like we need... Lung cancer needs its placement in society. You know, we've got breast in bras, we've got bowel on toilet roll.
We've got sepsis in hospitals now.
Yes, absolutely. And that's it, that simple message someone could look at who aren't familiar with, like, shoulder, backache, crackly voice. Yeah, and they might just rethink in that moment and think, oh, I bet that card, that piece of paper will save lives.
Brilliant idea.
Keep powering on.
Yeah, I will.
You're a total inspiration. Wonderful, wonderful energy. Thank you so much.
Have a great Christmas.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.
We'll see you next Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah, you will.
Thank you. If you're affected by that issue or you want to find out more about what Jules and Rachel have been talking about, we will put that on our website, itv.com/helplines.